Hello, Slots enthusiasts. How are you? My name is John Friedel. Welcome to Professor Slots, a channel that helps you master casino slots so you can win your way to success. It's great to see you all here again for another Professor Slots podcast episode and live stream. If you're with us live, be sure to say hello and ask your slots related questions. I'll get to those later in the show. Today, we're going to be diving into casino player clubs. So I just wanted to jump in here and thank you, Chuck. Been talking with people a little bit before the show. Usually show up early and say hello and leave it there instead of on the show. But yes, so some changes have taken place. I have gone over 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. So there's a few things that I need to point out to the people who are in the live chat, and I believe also who are watching this later on the video, which is there's two buttons, a smiley face and a little dollar sign at just below the text, the live chat box. So the dollar sign now is new, and it is a super chat, it's called, and super stickers. So if you were, yeah, right, big time goal. I was jazzed. It was hard to sleep, but it was wonderful. And so I've made that transition, and I wanted to let you know. We talked last time a little bit at the end of the show about some of the changes, and some of the changes. One of the changes that you can see is there's a little icon next to the emoji at the bottom of the live chat. If you're on a computer, on a desktop, and something like that, very similar to that in the mobile device, and all the various ones that you can try. So if you would care to make a donation, or you'd care to have a comment highlighted so it's easy for me to see, as I've mentioned in the past, we're getting more and more and more and more and more people. And it might be easy to sort of get my attention at the beginning of the show, but towards the end of the show, we have 4 or 5 times more people who come in, and so yeah, they're on the left of the live chat at the bottom. I believe in most ways to interface to this show, if you care to take a look at that, it'll make your comments more noticeable to me, and the super chat makes your comments noticeable. The super chat is apparently also a chat, but it gives you an icon or an avatar that shows up as well. So if you care to check those out sometime, and I'm still getting used to this. I've seen it, but I've not had it on my show before. Okay, so the other thing was people were asking about Professor Slott's merchandise, and just very quickly, professorslots.com /merch, or professorslots.com swag, SWAG. And I will see, I've been meaning to try this, typing in some of this into the live chat, and take you to my updated, and that might work. I don't know. In any case, put that in the live chat, professorslots.com /merch, merch short for merchandise, MERCH. And if you go there, you'll find a small logo in the front, the Professor Slots logo, and on the back, across the back, of different apparel and coffee mugs and bags, and even a little zip pouch that I thought would be nice for slots enthusiasts to have at the casino to hold money. Potentially more than your wallet might hold as you win. And so it's branded merchandise, and you can professorslots.com /merch have at it. But one of the things that I didn't understand was on YouTube, going over 1,000, is some things kind of show up and become available on my end and on your end. And one of the things that becomes available at 10,000 subscribers, which might be, well, at best a couple of months away, would be having merchandise from Teespring across the bottom of all my videos. So right, so that will be off a few more months. It doesn't come. Hey, look at that, 99 cents from Jan. Thank you so much. It's nice to see that a super sticker. It's nice to see that works. You're number one. Okay. Uh, there's a couple of comments already. Hello, Don. Nice to see you. Don's from Oklahoma. First time he says. Yeah, that's right. I have seen your name, but I haven't seen it in the live show. Excellent. So that's just, right there, first couple minutes, just getting that out of the way, letting you know about the new features that have become available. We'll talk again in a couple of months at least. And then there might be some more features that could become available at 10,000 subscribers. So it's great to see this kind of growth. And thank you so much. It's all about you and your questions and answers and however I can help. You win at Slot Machines. Master Casino Slots, win your way to success. So several times now here on these live streams, we've talked about Players Club cards. It's been either questions, so we spend a few moments on it. I don't know if it's every live stream, but it kind of is often. But 3 months ago on our live show, we have a weekly live show on the 4th of July. We met on the 4th of July and we talked, that show was called, Does Using a Players Club Card Make You Lose? And the answer being no for slot machines, but you need to understand what a class 3 slot machine is, something you'd find in Las Vegas versus a class 2 slot machine. And what are those? Where the gaming regulations are from a different area, different place. And what protects you with slot machines is those gaming regulations for class 3, but class 2 has less. And so there might be a question there whether or not it matters. I don't think so, but it's a little less protected. And then there's things like HHR machines. And I think I might even gone into like amusement machines at parks. But HHR machines are those historic horse race machines, which are actually based on a third set of gaming regulations, a third place. Every state's a little bit different, but a third place where you would get these. And it's from pari-mutuel wagering. So, the tickets, win, play, show, all that, that's what these slot machines are based on. They're electronic horse racing, right? Based on past races, many past races for each game, right? So it's, I haven't written all this up, but it kind of applies to Kentucky and I think West Virginia at Charleston races. They have those machines, but it's something that's starting to do a little bit of a boom, and the rules are different. So the rules are different there. There, it's more likely that it matters. We've had some obvious stuff happen in Kentucky with HHR machines. So, we have an hour-long discussion on that from the 4th of July. The link is in the show notes. And in the podcast description. So if you're listening on the podcast, then, this show on the podcast, then that was back in episode 98. Okay, so we kind of jumped into the deep end of the pool first without really going over what are Players Club cards. So, let's do that because some of us are familiar. Some of us have become familiar. I've certainly gone through a transition of the what to taking best advantage as I can, and trying to share all these gifts with family and regifting and so I'll show you some of them later. So I have an article on my website where which I have not turned into a video yet, a YouTube video. And like so many of my other articles, I kind of got started YouTube last, and I got a lot of catching up yet to do. But it's great to see the interest that I've gotten this last month, and I will continue to work on that. But I'm working on one of these is one of my next ones, not the next one, but I think the one after that. So this article, just an article, is called 7 Advantages of Player Clubs for Playing Slots. And again, the link is in the description in the podcast show notes. The video should be ready in a week or so. And then, but the video will be condensed down. Here, we're sort of talking about the ins and the outs, and the video is like so succinct that I've removed most of my breaths to make it that much more condensed. In any case, you should see that coming up soon. But in this article, I remember from the time I spent slots playing in 2004, how reluctant people were then. It wasn't just that casino, but nationally. They were reluctant to join players' clubs and not just casinos, mostly due to privacy concerns. Now, privacy concerns have evolved over time, and that was a different time from what it is now. We still have privacy concerns, but this was before having those little, I don't really have mine on me downstairs, cards for like grocery stores, where you can get a small discount or maybe some fraction of the dollars per gallon of gasoline at their attached fuel station. That's become so common. And back in 2004, we didn't really have that yet. Since then, many have seen the benefits of and used rewards cards for local businesses such as fuel stations, grocery store chains, air travel mileage, and more. My fellow slots players who have been active Advantage players for more years than I, decades more, suggested, I've only have 16 years, and they've got 30, 40, but having been active Advantage players for more years than me, they have suggested to me that these complimentary offers of food, gifts, and trips are the real reward for gambling, no matter which tier level you're at. And that's the opinion that was shared rather aggressively with me when I was, bumping into these people at the casino once they became a higher tier. Right. I think I have a way to show that. Yes. Thank you, Jan, for the super sticker. The super sticker will. And I think the super chat will both last longer if the more the higher the amount. So that's what I'm told, and we shall learn. So if, again, 2 new features for those who have joined the show in the last few minutes. Quite a number of them actually. And if let's see here, yeah. Okay, excellent. 2 new features at the bottom of the live chat that we're trying out today. And Jan, Texas Tootsie, used the super sticker. Wonderful. Okay, so nowadays, slots enthusiasts have gotten used to club cards at casinos. As people begun to carry many different club cards, enterprising individuals have made an app for them. You might have seen that sort of thing. I think it was popular for a while, not so much these days. We got enough apps, right? Well, maybe we don't. But nowadays, there's no real barrier to having a Players Club card from several casinos. If you're visiting a casino, seriously consider joining its Players Club card. I did a survey of anybody who would respond from my Facebook groups for each state to my email list, and any slots player, and not anyone, but slots players, and 91% of the people who responded use it. So I this is a change. So we should know what these are. Simply joining a casino will likely get you some free slots play. That is to say, a few dollars to play only on slot machines. Later, after you've spent some of your own money, you'll get other rewards. Today's discussion is about what those other rewards are and how to make the most of them. Right. So at the beginning of my gambling experience, I was not a fan of Players Club programs. Back in 2004, I didn't even join. I'd heard about it. Vaguely, there was a sign, and I saw people were like, privacy concerns and this. You have to give them your tax information, because if you win a taxable jackpot, then you need to have a connection to the IRS and your taxes. And so you have to kind of be forthright about social security number, that sort of stuff. And I was like, whoa. And why would I need it? I was just, just trying stuff out. Little did I know I was going to win so many hand pays in 6 days and have that tremendous experience in 2004, where I was just marking my hand with the times I won $1,000 and, just ended up with, what was it? 13 hand pays. And I visited the casino 4 times in those 6 days, and some days I went twice, and, just piles of cash, and I'm like, "What's going on?" And this helped me re-understand, reverse engineer really what was going on with slot machines, because people were saying one thing, and my own experience was saying, "No, that might be true in some circumstances, but there's some other things going on that need to be investigated." So I basically researched it, thought it through, logically figured it out through statistics and engineering and physics and business practices. And then by 2014, 10 years later, 2013, I went back into the casino. I was in a part of the country where I didn't have a casino, but then I moved to Ohio, and there's some new ones with the new technology. And all right, so that's my part of my story is I came back to a place in the country which had casinos and worked on further understanding things using what I'd figured out that 10 years of being away. And right, so at the beginning of my slots experiences, which is when I came back, I was not a fan of Players Club cards. I just didn't see any value in attending tournaments, drawings, or large dinner events. This was, when I came back in 2013, around November, end of that year, more or less. I had a few experiences earlier that year. The casino opened in March 2013, Horseshoe, Cincinnati, which has changed ownership a couple times since then. But I had no use for these things. And, I'd started seeing like the temptations at the dinners and, dinner events at casino ballrooms, these big drawings. But after 6 weeks of play and winning in my local high limit slots room, where I won 52 hand pays in 6 weeks over, what was it, less than 20 trips to the casino, I became a top tier member of the local casino's Players Club program. I simply hadn't yet begun to appreciate complimentary gifts. And we usually say, complimentary gifts, long word. So we say comps. Comps from the casino reward system, but I would soon learn to appreciate them. My naive attitude towards the Players Club changed when I specifically learned of an upcoming promotional drawing from my mail flyer. Before the drawing, before this event, I looked over the mail flyer. I reviewed the details and couldn't help but notice that I appeared to have a tremendously good odds of winning something. I'd learned that casino was holding a drawing to pick 10 individuals to win $2,000 in cash, and another 10 individuals to win $2,000 in free slots play. Drawing entries per individual would equal the individual's total number of taxable jackpots combined over the last 3 months. Okay? There's some subtleties in there. We'll get to them. But that's my understanding of the mail flyer's instructions on how the event proceeded. Now, what was special about this? Given the number of entries I had received, I drove to the casino over those 3 months. I drove to the casino that night for the drawing and proceeded to sign in at the promotions counter. Okay, so I walk up to the promotions counter, taking the short line, not the long line, because I'm top tier. So the casino staff, and we'll talk about that. The casino staff member slid my card, my club card, through their computer. At which point I heard him say in a slightly puzzled voice, "54 entries?" They looked at their coworker and said, 54 entries? Then they looked at me and they said rather loudly, 54 entries? So I ended up winning $2,000 in free slots play, which I turned into $1,980 in cash, multiple, I'll say non-taxable wins. None of them were over $1,200. Of course, it's taxable. It's just not immediately taxable it's not a hand pay. It's just so I like to pay my taxes when I win something, and don't feel bad about that. It's not just when it's over $1,200. In any case, just personal choice and legally required by the IRS. Anyway, getting away from that discussion, that rabbit hole. So I had $1,980 in cash. which I was able to leave with through playing $2,000 in free slots play. Now, hopefully all this kind of makes sense to you. If you join the club, you get some free slots play, and how all that works probably needs to be defined, because there's plenty of people out there who don't even have never done any of this. I talked to a gentleman yesterday. Occasionally I get calls from business people who have questions about, surveillance in these small shops that have a few slot machines. How do they find these establishments? In my state by state articles, have links to a lot of these, and I've studied each one. And it's a convenient way for them to convenient way for my articles are a convenient way for these businesses to sort of understand where they might find addresses and state gaming commissions and a few other things. And this one, this guy, it's amazing what people don't know. If you're new to slots, and it's fine. I mean, if you're new, you're new. But this gentleman was trying to offer some technology to casinos, or prepare some technology for casinos, but didn't know a thing. Never played a slot machine before. And I had to explain. He seemed to know about central computers, but he didn't seem to know anything about a players club. And for what he was trying to do, I was like, well, the players club is already set up to, handle funds for free slots play and et cetera. So I don't know, maybe I'll hear from him again, but it's some of these basics need to be explained. Anyway, I did win once in that promotion. Turns out that one of the rules was you couldn't win twice. So they took my name out of the drawing, even though they drew 20 times, 10 for $2,000 in cash, 10 times for $2,000 in free slots play. And once I won, I was out. I couldn't win again. So I was actually, at the time, I hadn't noticed that little detail. And at the time and this is what you need to do with every one of these promotions, is look at it and say, what's my chances? What's going on here? Is this worth trying? Is it not worth trying? And for me, it was great, but I would have loved to have won 5 times or something. But they got to read the rules, make sure you understand. So after joining a players club, email flyers and other promotional offers are routinely sent to the address provided at sign up. If your goal is to earn your way to the top or second to the top tier in the players club, you're successful in doing so, then many more become available than you would as a new member. Mail flyers, and there's a little point here, I'll just make it very quickly. If you are a higher tier member in a players club and you go to a new casino and sign up for their players club, which you've never been part of before, take your other card, take your high tier card and say, hey, I'm high tier at this other casino. Can you give me promotional status for at a higher level because of that? And they will. Now it's probationary because they want, to see you perform and to see you go out and play slots and prove that you are, but they'll give you promotional for a few months. And then if you're there, you're there. So you don't have to climb through all the lower ranks, just get back up to where you are comfortable at, because they know that maybe if you can't do that, you might walk away. So mail flyers contain offers ranging from dinners, free slots play, small electronic gifts, and other things, drawings for a new luxury car, all expensive paid trips to other casino properties, and the list goes on and on. These offers are basically attempting to get the recipient to come to the office. So I thought you might like to see some of these things. I was, getting ready for today, and I haven't taken a lot of photos of my winnings. I didn't really realize I was going to become Professor Slots, in a couple of years after I was doing all this. But I wanted to take a few photos. So I have a few photos. So let me share with you some images. And sorry for the podcast listeners. Let's see here. I will do, that's not a good one. Let's try this one. All right. So I'm small and still on the screen to the side, but then this is you kind of get an idea from the power outlet in the wall about the size of this dish. And maybe salad bowl might be a way to put it. It's thick. It's branded with the Bengals. Got a B in the bottom, and maybe some of the colors involved. They just give you this. And what about Let's see here. What about this? I mean, the people at the casinos are trying to make this stuff interesting. So there's this cup holder, which is a big plastic glove you stick your hand into, and it's got a hole in it where it holds a can of your favorite beverage, and it's orange, and it's got the Bengals logo. Now, this one, I don't want to go on too long about each one of these, but this one I gave to a friend at work, and he put it on the top of his Christmas tree. When Christmas was around, because that's the time around which I got it, and gave it to him, and he put it up. And he put it up in his wife allowed it for about 30 seconds, enough for him to take a photo. And you know, this was a Bengals giveaway week. This mat's out in my garage. See, this is branded with the Horseshoe Casino or Horseshoe logo. And it's a little Bluetooth speaker. They like those. Here's another one. I have this on my desk. The Jive one is over there on the other side of the room. Bread maker. Not the last bread maker you're going to see here. Got a bowl chopper. This is a huge countertop oven, convection oven. I still have that. And you get things that you're not really sure of. I'm not trying to brag here. I'm trying to say, what do you do with this stuff? Sometimes, they try really hard, but I don't drink wine. Why would I need an electronic blue push button corkscrew? It was, let's see, 2 months ago, finally. I've had this for years, and 2 months ago, I was like, I don't really need this, and gave it donated it to Goodwill. And this one has been taken off my shelf because, I use it to chill my Diet Mountain Dew bottles. But, do I really need to do that? A drink blender. This was interesting. This was a Galaxy Tab 4. I'm not sure what number they're up to now. It was an Android device. They just gave that to me, and it eventually wore out. And then these cards that came with it, this was all part of the 7 stars status that I had with Caesars rewards at the time. I think it's Total Rewards now. Or was it Total Rewards and became Caesars Awards? I think it became Caesars Awards. But these cards had things like free slots play, and it was just like a stack of them that they gave me as part of a package. I was in the top 100. So you're in the top tier, but how do you decide, where are you in the top tier, right? Once you're over a certain limit, then you're over a certain limit. But I had spent so much, and they didn't really track at the time how much I won, that they gave me this for being in the top 100 at a Horseshoe Casino, the Horseshoe Casino in Cincinnati. And I would not have known otherwise if they hadn't done that, because that's not something they normally share. Right. So hand mixer, indoor grill. I got a couple of those, some dishes, another indoor grill, linkable slow cookers. I kind of wish I had these now. And this one, it's a chip dip tray, and I'm going to show it to you. Let's see here if I can go back to my full screen. Come on, you can do it. Right. So let me see if I can bring this up for you. It's kind of like, big. It weighs, I weighed it, and it's just under 5 pounds, porcelain. And I remember, if you look at the box it came in, I was just showing, it came in this box, and I remember a bunch of us walking around the casino. We would go up and get this 5 pound white box, and we'd all be carrying it around. And I remember talking to someone kind of like me, a woman that was in the elevator. We were leaving, and she looked at my box that I was struggling with, and she had one she was struggling with, and she just sort of very sarcastically said, "Oh, so you got a $10,000 chip dip tray too, did you?" And in reference to how much more we spent, and in some cases one, uh, uh, more than that, to get these gifts. And so she was sort of commenting on, it's fun to play the game, it's fun to get the comps, but you want to decide if you need it, right? Spend $10,000 to get a $5,000 TV. Why don't I go get a TV, at Best Buy or something? You just be careful not to get too caught up in some of the excitement. So that's, to show you some of the stuff that I got. A lot of this was regifted. A lot of it I still have in use, because I gave away the stuff that I didn't need. And after that, I just didn't get the stuff if I didn't need it, if I didn't have a way to repurpose it. You have to have like a spare bedroom. Top tier players, if you get everything, you have to have a spare bedroom or huge walk-in closet just to start putting stuff in there. Okay, so let me get back to the full screen. Right. And inside voice, John, inside voice. So I'm going to take a quick second here, and see if there's any questions. It looks like we're good. Wanted to say hello to Tud Ferguson. Welcome from Clovis, California. Michael says, tells great benefit of cards is surprise snacks brought in machine. You're on by computer restaurant staff and all, but some more than others. Yeah. There's I haven't even scratched the surface. That's Michael's comment. Right, and I'll show it. Right. So yes, I haven't even scratched the surface on some of the stuff that I got. Some of the stuff that you could get. These, the people, the marketing people, the Players Club office at your local casino. If your casino has a Players Club, most do, but not everyone does. And we've talked about that in the past. Why not? It's expensive. It's expensive if you're just a small casino, but it's cheap if you're a big casino, and a necessity if it's a big casino. It's just scale of demand. If you, have 5, 4, 3 full-time people working on this at your casino, and you only have 9,000 people you're servicing, it's hard to get the worth back. But you can do the same thing, only just, instead of 1,000 mail flyers, you could put out 1 million mail flyers if you're like Caesar's Rewards, where, same number of people, it's just bigger mailings. And so that becomes cheaper the bigger you are, is what I'm trying to say. And some small casinos don't have a rewards club. And that happens. Right. So good question, Michael. Hi, Lois and Dave. Yep. Thanks for stopping by. Let's see. Richard says he's from Northern. Let's see. Richard from Western North Carolina. Anybody going Sunday to Harris Cherokee for a free extra 250 tier credits event? Right. So, you get sort of multipliers. There's things the casino can do that, aren't this 5-pound porcelain chip dip tray, which I'm sure costs something for them. There are some things that don't cost them much. They have a certain amount of money they put into free slots play, which is all part of the program. And they're allowed to do that, and they track that. There's things like, what else that's free? Food is just cheap, and for them. And that's easy. That's the comments I've gotten when I've asked for a dinner or something. Food, that's easy. And thought you're going to ask for something hard. So it beggars the imagination. They're always trying to come up with something new. It's just, yeah. So So, let's talk about that. The casinos, are doing this from the casino's perspective. Uh, they're getting your information. They're sending you mail flyers, but the mail flyers they're designed to get people to the casino. They know free stuff is difficult to resist, and they're right. What do casinos get from players clubs? Well, why do they do anything? Because in the end, they make money doing so. For every dozen people standing in a long line for an electronic skillet, is one or two individuals spending hundreds of dollars playing slots to get a $50 skillet. These individuals are only at the casino because of that promotion. In addition, other people in line feel more positive about the casino, and feeling more positive about a casino means they are more likely to visit again. And that too is how a casino makes money, by building its reputation by having these comps. If these comps if these promotions didn't make money for the casino, they wouldn't have them. They wouldn't be able to afford them. Their goal is to get people into the casino, then simply let nature take its course. So, getting a player's club card is, the goal for the casino. But what do players get? So there's the casino's perspective, and then there's the player's perspective. What do the players get? What advantages are provided by players' clubs? Mostly it comes down to convenience. There are 7 advantages that I've documented, that I've written up, and I'll try to touch on these time depending, and questions. See what kind of questions are coming in. It's always hard to say if there's a lot of questions or little questions, how far I'll get in my prepared notes. But 7 advantages: free slots play, shorter service lines. I mean, I made that number 2 because it really is something. You could have hundreds of people coming in for a promotion, and I've gone up to this hundreds of people in a line. I don't even know how long it was. It was across the casino and out the door, and at Horseshoe Cincinnati, when it was a Horseshoe. And I just kind of like walked up to a slot attendant, or a casino employee who's sort of managing the line and kind of walking up and down the line. And I'm like, this the line, because it's just far away from the promotions counter. I'm like, is this the line? Where's the end of the line? And but I didn't ask where the end of the line was. I asked if it was a line, and she said yes, unless unless you're like top tier or something. And I'm like, where would I go for the top tier? And I just walked by all those people. She pointed me in the right direction. I walked by all those people. You ever have that feeling in the back of your neck where people are like, the eyes are moving? Like watching you. I showed that to my sister in Las Vegas when I gave her my companion card, and we went to the Diamond Lounge, and we walked past all these people to go to the short line not having anybody in it for 7 stars. And I before we kind of like walked by everybody, I looked at her and said, okay, now get ready. You're going to want to like walk, but try to saunter a little bit, and just be aware there's going to be like a feeling of the eyes moving and tracking you and stuff. And, but we're just going to walk past, and I just want you to be prepared for this little experience. And so we walked past them and got in the line, got right in. And she's just like, what was that? So I like shorter service lines. I put it number 2 after free slots play. Complimentary gifts, for me, I placed it at 3. I'm not as, if I wanted a bread maker, I'd have a bread maker. I don't need 2. I've got a grill. Thank you. Maybe not as good of a grill as you're going to give me, so maybe I'll, upgrade to the gift. But complimentary gifts, I don't get as excited about. And not as exciting for me is slots tournaments. It's just, go sit there, push the button monkey, and I'm like, I'd rather choose which machine and when. It's kind of my thing. Then there's the travel. You get a host eventually, which is all very interesting. And then there's these events. And I put these in order, if there is an order, based on my personal preferences. Maybe you like to travel and put that at the top. But I wanted to talk about each one of these. And so I do encourage people to use the coupons provided by the casino whenever possible, as they are part of the reward for playing. However, I caution players to play on their own terms. If the coupons are not available to them, either directly or as a gift to others, then there is no point in spending time that could be used more productively. Finally, remember that gifts from the casino are taxable. The IRS requires you note each gift's free market value for annual income tax purposes. Some of these things are only $50, but nevertheless, that's what the IRS requires. And, I do that. So the record keeping notes and some other established forms and spreadsheets that I'll be sharing and putting out there with these videos and other things I'm sort of expanding on, making them free, maybe for your email. And once I figure out how to do it, so you don't require Microsoft Office, but maybe you can use Google Docs. Anyway, I've got a few things I'm going to share as time goes, tools to help you. But I do have a place for the value, free market value of complimentary gifts. Like if you were to give it away to Goodwill, how much is it worth on the free market value? Then so you can take these and you can give them to Goodwill, and you can get a donation for that. Put that as a something you donated, but of course you won it too. So anyway, let's take a break for just a second. I want to check in with the live chat, see if there's anything that I've been missing. So Paula is teasing me about saundering a little bit. I think another word might be strut, but just lightly. Okay. My younger sisters, I love my younger sister. I love both my sisters, but I trained her to wave at other Jeep owners when she was driving my Jeep, Wranglers. That's a thing. And she would just practically hit me in the face over on my passenger side seat. She's waving so hard. Okay. And I'm like, no, you want to just kind of do just a little. And so if I told her to strut, she would have strutted, and I wanted her to just sort of like, just walk with satisfaction. But thank you, Paula, for pointing that out. So we have a question in the live chat for other people in the live chat. Anybody got any great rewards from WinStar? So one of the things I haven't talked about, I'll come back to each one of those topics, each one of those advantages in a moment, but and just give you something briefly on each one, just so you know, in case you hadn't known. But one of the things is sometimes casinos have a share, have the same players club, and so they might have a shuttle or bus or travel or hotel arrangements for their other site. Now there's a Pittsburgh Meadows? No, not Meadows. What's the other one in Pittsburgh? One downtown Pittsburgh. Rivers. Yeah, it's Rivers. Rivers, Pittsburgh. Well, that is also that's a Sugarland property, and they have another one in Chicago, or I shouldn't say Chicago, Illinois. There's a Sugarland in Illinois, and they have the same connection. So, they have the same players club. So you can, they often will set up a flight from Pittsburgh Airport to, O'Hara, and just fly people over to that other casino to spend the weekend or the night or the day or the evening, and do all of this. So that's one of the advantages that you can see with some of the larger casinos, because if you have this, then you can do that. So Horseshoe was just like, hey, we're going to give you an annual trip. I always went on the 4th of July, but when I had that status, before they went further away, where it's not just my favorite casino anymore because it moved away. I should try doing Caesars Windsor. It's 400 miles away or something, 300 miles away. I might be able to do that. Anyway, if you have a larger players club, there's more that you can do with travel. but if it's a smaller one, there's less you can do. And one of the travel, of course, is going on cruises, which I had never been on a cruise before, and went on a couple of them. And my goodness, floating hotel sites. I saw Alaska. Yeah. So it looks like I've caught up on the questions in the live chat. That's a good thing. I should ask what people's comps are. I should ask that regularly in my Facebook groups. Okay, so that was excellent. Visit professorslots.com/subscribe to get my free report revealing the top 7 online resources for improving your gambling performance, including the one I've used as a top-tier slot machine casino gambler. So here's the 7 advantages of having and using a Players Club card. First off is free slots play. It's usually the first gift from the casino after signing up for the Players Club program. It's usually loaded onto the card. Then you will need to apply it to a specific slot machine after sitting down at it, put in your PIN, access it, put it onto into the account section of the slot machine, and through the Players Club interface, and then you can play that. Usually, if you don't play at all, and you pull your card from the machine, the remainder remains available on your card. It can be how exactly that works depends on the Players Club, but you can't leave it on the machine when you walk away if you take your Players card with you. Now, if you win, and I always consider free slot play like an ATM machine, like using an ATM machine, and I'm going to make a withdrawal, but I don't know how much it's going to be. And that's kind of how I felt about it. I get $200 in free slots play a couple times a week, $250 a couple times a week, and I would put it in and I'd see what happened. And one of the things that's, I think, important, a little pro tip here, is if you get free slots play and any amount, and you put it in and you win something, well, now in the machine is a total number. Let's say you put in free slots play $20 and you win $100, but you made a $5 bet. Okay, so that's math. Your $20 in free slots play has dropped to $15, but then you have $100 of money, but your machine shows $115 in it. Some of it is free slots play. Some of it is if you hit the voucher out, the $100 will come out. It'll print a voucher for $100, but the $15 will remain in the machine. So some people would like to use their free slots play, but not spend any of the money that they're making from the free slots play. And how do you do that? Well, you can very carefully keep track of how much free slots play you've used until it's all gone, but it gets kind of busy. And a quick tip would be just to do the cash out. And if there's anything left in the machine after voucher out prints, then what remains is free slots play. And that way you can say, and you might get a couple of vouchers instead of just one, but you wouldn't be spending any of the money you won. All right. Pro tip. So that's kind of it. All free slots play is time dependent. You have only a certain amount of time to use it. If you join the casino, it might last. I don't think I've ever heard of one free slots play staying on your card, being available for to use after it was put on there by a month. That's maybe a month if you're lucky. But is that 28 days or 31 days? If you get close to a month, you could lose it all. I've known people who have gotten free slots play and didn't use it immediately. When I won the car, I did not take the car. I took the cash, but they offered me a third option, $40,000 in cash or $40,000 in free slots play. And I was like, I know it times out, and I can't spend that much money. Not at the way that casino was set up. It was winning strategy number one, where you don't spend a lot of money and then you're done. And I was just like, there's just no way I'm going to be able to get through $40,000 of free slot play in the time in which I would be able to, it's allowed. And the other things are, you get these coupons and it says available from this time to this time. Usually it's like 6 hours, 10 hours, maybe the whole day, but only on that day. And then it's gone if you don't use it. So they're very time dependent because they want you in the casino, but they also kind of want you in the casino when they want you in the casino, right? So number two, shorter service lines. Again, I've talked about how much I like that, and it just walk right up. I had to start standing in line once a horseshoe became Jack Cincinnati, and it was had to wait in line. What's that all about? Number three, complimentary gifts. Casino employees. You get to know the casino employees on your top tier. They chat with you and other things, and kind of talk maybe about, I don't know if you'd say personal so much as family stuff, maybe a little bit, and they become close with them. And one of them, was chatting with me about, okay, so she was given the responsibility of having the budget for this casino to handle Thanksgiving. And, part of that is decorations, but part of that is what gifts do you give out at Thanksgiving that are appropriate for Thanksgiving. But, here's the list of what was given out in the last 10 years, and please don't repeat or whatever. So, they have to figure out what to give out. And all the good choices kind of been used and in the past. And, I think you saw how many electric grills I had. I was just giving those away like popcorn. I kept the George Foreman one, and one other. Paula, you might be getting that one for Christmas. Paula's a family friend. Let me know when you get it sooner. Anyway, regifting. Right. So, but the free food is great. There's free alcoholic drinks, or free trips, everything in between. I enjoyed the, 45-day age steaks. I never had a 45-day age steak before. I think I might have had 50 before I was like, okay, enough with the steaks. Yeah. So sometimes the comps can be quite innovative. Sometimes, it's partly because they're trying to avoid repetition. Now there was gas cards, and family friend Paula, they they had gas cards, and it was one of those walking up the line of the 7 stars, and at the time it was like $5 a gallon. This was 5 years ago, and I was doing all this gambling, and so I was at the high end of the promotion, and they gave me $250 in $50 each gas cards that you could use at certain gas stations in my area, and like a Shell station or something. And I gave a couple of them to Paula, when gas was $5 a gallon, and so yeah, Paula, I've known her for a long time, and she has been the recipient of some of these things. My younger sister has been a companion on one of the cruises. So yeah, family has benefited from this, and regifting is a wonderful idea. So slots tournaments, just to try to keep this going. So many of the mail flyers, benefit to the casino, benefit to the player, right? Benefit to the casino is get you into the casino, but make you wait. Just walk around, do what comes to mind while you wait for your time slot. And that's great for the casino. For the player, you be aware that they're trying to not make you wait too long, but longer than you would take to maybe get some food. So what do you do in a casino besides eat and play? So they, casinos love slots tournaments for that reason, but they can be difficult to administer. A lot can and often does go wrong. And so with a better operating system lately and these central servers, it's all become a lot easier. And now that that's sort of, no more clipboards being used, it's, a nice thing for the casino and not a bad thing for the player. Usually it's a multiple day event. How would the casino, I think about, these things I see in the casino and how do I optimize them? But the casino's doing, and where do I get that idea? Because I see the casino optimizing their thing they're doing. So, okay, so you're invested in the slots tournament. You come in, you get your number, maybe you're, doing fairly well. You might rank, but come back tomorrow and we'll, see if you still rank. Might have it on Friday, then on Saturday, and okay, final drawing is on Sunday. And you might want to make sure you need to be here to win if you're high up on the score list. So it's if they just took this 1 day event and made it a 3 day event, particularly if you did well in your time slot, and now you're on the board and the leaders, and how's that all going to work out? And then at the final thing, you reach in through these pigeonholes that are covered in this like really light paper, and does that key fit the car, or does it not fit the car? And so they have these multiple stage events, multiple day events, and it's great for the casino. I don't really see as much advantage. Like I said, tournaments, they tell you where to sit, they tell you which machine, they tell you when, and then they say go, and then they say stop, and I'm just like, monkey, so tournaments I don't usually go to, but I have gone to those and kind of like found some winning machines and made far more than I ever did from. I don't know if I ever won anything at all from a slots tournament, but I've won when I've gone to a slots tournament because I have my strategies. Okay, so travel, sister properties, I've already mentioned that, and how they work together. For instance, one of the things could be New Jersey, if it has a sister property there, or Las Vegas. And sometimes they even, work partnerships with other casinos to try to have something for that. And it's usually like a +1 guest situation. If I'm speaking to what I like about it. I've been to the Las Vegas one several times, and 4th of July only, and taken family and enjoyed that. Not really gambling. One was a learning trip, and I did gamble, but I learned how not to gamble in Las Vegas, which is valuable. And I wrote all that up in my Visiting Las Vegas blog article. Right. So that's trips are fine, but then there's hosts, right? You have someone who's catering to your every need, and have you ever had a personal assistant? I mean, I never had a personal assistant, but I had a host, and it felt like a personal assistant. I mean, they were calling me at home. They were saying, I wouldn't want you to miss thing. Your odds are pretty good, and by the way, did you want any special tickets to any special events? Are you interested in theater, ballet? What's your personal, we'll try to get those things for you. It's like a concierge, and you're in the suite in the hotel, that you're in the top floor penthouse. And it's just like, what can we do for you? What do you like? Not intrusive, be there at your machine. You put your card in within 30 seconds. They're standing next to you, having avoided all these people who had a question as they walk by. and I never felt like I really did enough with them. They're like, I'll be like, can I have food? Dinner? Oh, that's easy. I'm like, what's hard? I really have to figure out what's hard and ask for that. And then there's events, they have events in front row seating next to the general manager of the casino, or in the back row, depending on your tier level, and get in a shuttle, go over to the football stadium. If you have one, go over to the park when they have their annual luminosity. Cincinnati has something called a luminosity, where they do a light show and pops band and outdoor seating and all of that. Just a lot going on. So I see that we have a couple of comments. I want to make sure I capture any of these. See, Janet says, Janet is here. She's going to Seminole, Hollywood. Right. It's for, let's see. Let me see if I can highlight this. All right. Hi, everyone. Going Seminole, Hollywood, Florida. 3-night on them. $75 free, $1,500 resort credit, wish me luck. Hey, good luck. Good luck helps too. That's these trips. These free trips, can include airfare. Often do include airfare because it's pretty expensive, so they pay for that with these partnerships. But they also put room credit, and can be a lot of room credit on your hotel. And you just, if there's a shop like the Caesars Forum shops are part of the Caesars hotel system, and if you charge something there, you can have it charged to your room, and if it's charged to your room and you got an $800, credit on your room because it's part of the trip, then you can buy hats and stuff like I did. Um, uh, let's see. Michael says, remember some negative experiences in free play from cards, casino being too careful, not I want to show that not giving overlapping dates and other things. Yes, it's very restrictive. There's a time in, there's a time out. There's concerns about you win a car and it's like, or you win like that event where I had $2,000 in free slots play, and suddenly it's not available. And what just happened, and it's something to be careful about. Um, it's its own little thing. Uh, you know, things like if you are a high tier in another club, go to the new club, take your old card. These are tips. These are pro tips I'm trying to give you. Oh, Janet, don't say you're due for a win. That's not how statistics work. I hope you have an enjoyable time. Okay, so that's today's show. Have fun, be safe, make good choices.